in church, they have always taught me that we should always forgive no matter what, because it's our key to heaven, our key to the gates to heaven, and it always makes you feel better when you forgive others. So I wanted to talk about how forgiveness is something nice, not only for you, but for the other person. And at the end, you guys are always, you feel happy, and you end up getting along afterwards. And it, like, in a friendship, a friend can do something really bad, and you're going to feel really angry at them. But forgiving them makes you feel better, makes them feel better, and you're still friends at the end. Another example, my stepdad was angry at his dad for 10 years, I think, and he never wanted to talk to his dad because he cheated on his mom. So he didn't talk to him for 10 years, and when he met my mom, she started talking to my stepdad's dad, and she told him, you have to talk to him because he's your dad, and you never know, he can pass away one day and you're going to regret not talking to him. So he takes the small step and starts talking to him on the phone, and I think 5 years later his dad passed away, and when he passed away he was actually happy that he had talked to his dad before he had passed away. An example, my cousin, my sister doesn't like talking to me because I look a lot like her, and my stepdad left her mom, my dad left her mom to be with my mom, so she hates my mom and me because of what my dad did. But eventually, as I got older, when I was younger, I was confused, and I was always talking to her, and she would just walk away because she didn't like me. So she now noticed that I wasn't doing anything to harm her, and she has forgiven my dad about what he did, and we now get along as sisters should. And so not because someone does something really bad to you doesn't mean you should never talk to them. It's really sad when families don't get along, or friends don't get along because of something that someone did. But at the end, when you forgive them, you guys are back together. It's like nothing happened, and your friendship and your family can be together, and it's the best thing in the world.
Just do it. It's awkward. Hey. I like that.
Well, I think you've got a nice point of view on the topic, although we never find out what the topic is. I think that's something that you might want to share with us. There's not really a preview set up, but I can see there's a structure based on the relationships that you have that you're talking about. You've got a friend relationship, you've got your stepfather relationship, and you've got your relationship with your half-sister. So those are distinct examples. They seem very repetitive. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, your first one doesn't seem repetitive because it's so ambiguous, but the second and the third one I think are a little bit more similar to each other. The idea of forgiveness, I'm still trying to figure out what how that second one fits, but I get the idea that we kind of have to get over ourselves in some of this, and I think that that's the point that you're trying to make. And like I said, that seemed to be the clearest thing that you had at the beginning of the speech. So that helps make everything fit a little bit better in the presentation. And sometimes a good point of view is the thing that's going to rescue a structure that's not quite as clear as it could be, or even examples that aren't as clear as they could be, because if you can come back to that point, then things make a little bit more sense. Your presentation, you project adequately. Sometimes your voice drops out at the end, for instance. That's one of the comments that I make toward the end of the speech. A lot of people do that. I think I mentioned it to other folks. People just sort of trail off. They sound like the end of a record. Nobody listens to records anymore. The end of a piece of music, when it gets quieter and quieter and quieter, and the song's done because it got quieter. And that's sort of what you are doing there. I think that's a little bit problematic. You're playing with the topic the whole time. That's the nervous thing that you're doing and that limits your gestures a little bit. I think you need to be a little bit more vivid in your facial expressions. Your eye contact, I catch you looking down quite a bit. Sometimes you look up, but most of the time I think you're focused, kind of thinking to yourself and just looking down while you were in front of us instead of engaging us a little bit. Your posture's not bad. There's a little bit of swaying that goes on there, and again, I think that this is one of the things that suggests that you lack the confidence that you ought to have. You need to be a little bit more forceful, a little bit stronger, own the situation a little bit more. You feel somewhat withdrawn because of a combination of those signals that we were just talking about. That is that.